Good morning students. Today we will discuss another important topic, that is single cell protein. Single cell protein is also called SCP. As we know that the demand of food increasing due to increased human and animal population, and the shift from grains to meat diets. Meat diet does not solve the problem, because as it takes 3 to 10 kg of grains to produce 1 kg of meat by animal farming. And more than 25% of population, they suffer from hunger and malnutrition. The alternative source of protein is called single cell protein, and many microorganisms, usually they are used to make fermented foods, and some of the microorganisms are also used as human food, and some of the microorganisms like spirulina, usually it grows on wastewater from potato processing plants, and it also grows on molasses, and it also grows on straw, and it also grow on animal manure, and it also usually grow on sewage plants. And some of the microorganisms, they produce food, and this food is rich in proteins, and it also rich in vitamins, and it also rich in minerals, and such type of biomass from unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms is called single cell protein. And the term SCP means the biomass obtained from not only unicellular organisms but also from multicellular organisms. And it has been estimated that 250 gram. It has been estimated that 250 kilogram of cow produces 200 gram of protein per day. 2 kg of cow produces 200 gram of protein per day. In the same period, some of the microorganisms like Methylophilus and Methylotropus produce 25 tons of protein due to its high production and due to its high biomass. So some of the microorganisms produce large amount of protein than multicellular organisms. And single cell protein producing some of the organisms, some algae produce, they also rich in proteins like chlorella, and some of the blue green algae, some examples for SCP, and that is algae, from algae chlorella, from blue green algae spirulina, from bacteria is Methylophilus, Methylotropus, and some of the fungi also used as single cell protein, that is fusarium, and some of the yeast also used as single cell protein, that is Candida utilities. And these are some of the microorganisms, they produce food, or they produce biomass which is rich in proteins, vitamins and minerals. So such type of biomass is called single cell protein. And what is the advantages of protein? The advantage of single cell protein, so it produces high quality of protein and low quality of fats, and it also reduces the environmental pollution. And through single cell protein, the amount of protein produced in the laboratory condition throughout the year. So this is the single cell protein. Now we will discuss another topic, that is called tissue culture. This is the last topic of this chapter, plant breeding or strategies for enhancement in food production. The last topic is tissue culture. So what is tissue culture? It is a technique for maintaining and growing of various plant cells or plant tissues or plant organs in artificial medium in suitable containers under controlled environmental conditions. It is a technique of maintaining and growing of various plant cells, tissues and organs under controlled conditions is called tissue culture. And the part which is cultured in tissue culture, that is usually known as explant. So what is explant? The any part which is taken from plant. Any part which is taken from plant, it is cultured in tissue culture, that is called explant. And this explant has the ability to produce whole same plant, and this ability of plant cells or plant tissues is called cellular totipotency. What is cellular totipotency? The ability of plant cells or the ability of plant tissues or the ability of plant organ to produce all same to same plant is called cellular totipotency. And many hormones are used in tissue culture techniques, and various hormones, plant growth hormones are used in tissue culture techniques. That they are auxins, gibberellic acids, abscisic acid, cytokinins, and these are the various plant growth regulators, and some of the non-stone proteins like polyamines, and all these hormones usually used during plant tissue culture technique. And there are three conditions necessary for plant tissue culture. There are three conditions necessary for tissue culture, that is nutritional medium, second one is aseptic conditions, and aeration of the tissue or cell or organs. These three conditions essential for plant tissue culture. First one is nutritional medium. So nutritional medium, the general nutritional medium contain many inorganic salts. Many inorganic salts means essential elements, and it also required many plant growth regulators, and it also consists essential vitamins, and it also contain essential minerals, and it also contain various the carbon source. Usually carbon source, the carbon obtained from sucrose, or it is ample sugar. So these are it is the combination of nutritional medium which is used in plant tissue culture, and the most extensively used medium, nutritional medium is Mg medium. That is KS medium, Kurosagi and SKU. MS medium, Murasagi, Murashik and SKU medium. This nutritional medium is extensively used in case of tissue culture technique. Then aseptic conditions. The nutritional medium usually contain ample sugar. Then ample sugar, it promotes the growth of many microorganisms like bacteria and fungi. And these bacteria and fungi, they are compete with the growth of plant tissue or plant organ. And finally, these microorganisms, they are able to kill the plant tissue or plant organs. So that's why aseptic conditions necessary, or that is essential for plant tissue culture. Full sterilization required for the plant tissue culture technique. Then aeration of the tissue. So proper aeration also essential for the plant tissue cultures. If you shake the plant tissue culture or the proper medium, then proper aeration required. Proper aeration enter to the growing tissue or growing cells. So these three conditions are must essential for any plant tissue culture. And there are various methods in plant tissue cultures, and one of the important culture is meristem culture. So what is meristem? So already in class 11 botany I told you what is meristem. It is a group of young immature tissues present at apex of the root or apex of the shoot. They are always divide. To produce large number of cells. And if the meristem used as explant, in tissue culture technique, then we able to produce virus free plants, because virus does not attack the meristem, because it is metabolically, the meristematic tissue is metabolically active and rapidly divide to produce large number of large number of new virus-free plants. In meristem culture is used for, simply meristem culture is used for to produce large number of virus-free plants. And second important technique is micropropagation. Micropropagation. So what is micropropagation? It is a technique of tissue culture in which large number of small sized propagules used to produce large number of small sized propagules used to produce large number of vegetable plants and fruit plants. So due to small sized explants, so it is also called micropropagation. And in this process, the new plantlets are exactly similar morphologically and genetically similar to their parents. Such type of offsprings are called soma clones. Micro means small, propagation means formation of new plants. In this tissue culture technique, large number of small sized explants are used to produce new plantlets, and these new plantlets are exactly copy to their parents. It means morphologically and genetically they are similar to their parents. Such type of offsprings are called soma clones. And one more important technique, that is somatic hybridization. So what is somatic hybridization? It is the somatic hybridization. Somatic hybridization is, it is the fusion of protoplasm or protoplast. It is the fusion of protoplast of two different cells to produce new hybrids. Somatic hybridization. Somatic means the protoplasm of two different cells or the two different species. They fuse to form a new individual or they fuse to form new hybrids. Such type of technique is called somatic hybridization. So with the help of somatic hybridization, so there are number of hybrids are produced. For example, tomato. So it is produced by crossing potato and tomato. And like that, there are many hybrid varieties which are produced through somatic hybridization, but they are commercially not succeed. So these are the various tissue culture techniques. So these two important topics, single cell protein and tissue culture. So from this video, strategies for enhancement in food production chapter is totally completed.